Hi y'all, I am at Brooke's house today and I'm just going to do an interview with her. So thank you guys for joining. We are excited to talk more about home order. This has been the topic this week because it is spring cleaning time. You just joined. It's awesome. You're here and Brielle joined while we're talking. Look, Mallory's joining. Hi, Mallory and Rhonda. Lots of great people joining. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and ask Brooke a few questions. Hi, Kim. And if you have questions, be sure to type them in because as I am taping Brooke, I'll be able to answer your questions. Lori Whitfield is on too.
Hi, Lori.
So, and I'm going to say hi to Brittany too because I know that Brittany's going to be watching or at least on the replay. But okay, so I'm going to turn the camera around and we're sitting here in her little guy's nursery doing this interview. So I'll give you guys a little tour of that after we're done. But I just wanted to start off by asking her a few questions. So I'm going to turn the camera around. Go. Okay, Brookie, so just talk to us. Oh, my mom's joining all the way from Brazil. So that's cool. So, all right, well, tell us kind of your passion about home order and what you're thinking.
Okay, well, the scriptural foundation for home order is Psalm 8, and the exact scripture says, when I think about the heavens, the stars, creation, everything that the Lord has set or ordained in place, and that word in the Greek is called itheke, and it means I am going to take something physical and I am going to actually set it in a place. And when I set it in that place, I say to that thing, function here. So essentially you can imagine creation and God creating the heavens, the stars. So he may form the stars and he says, I'm going to set you up here in the nighttime sky and I'm going to say, function here. Do what you need to do here. Yeah. And then he removes himself to go and create and ask and create something else and set it in place and say, you now animals of the earth, I'm going to set you here and function here. Yeah. And so when we talk about
that's so cool.
Yeah, the scriptural foundation, then it's God ordaining me in my home to physically put things in place.
Say here, function here.
Function here.
So how do you do that? She's been married and has 4 children. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am married.
Thanks for sharing with me.
Yes. Scott and I have been married for 12 years, and I have 4 kids. They are 8, 6, 4, and 18 months. And so I'm homeschool mom, stay-at-home mom, and doing just normal life at home.
And by a really amazing miracle, we're able to have a little bit of quiet for 15 minutes.
Well, the baby naps, so good timing on the nap.
The older girls are doing their work, and Brielle is building Easter eggs, and the baby's napping in the closet.
Yeah,
the walk-in closet. So it's nice and quiet while we are interviewing in his bedroom.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So home order, it is not impossible to keep a tidy, clean, neat home, even with a lot of little kids. It's totally not only possible, but you know how to do it. You've got the hang of it. So how does it work best for you?
So it worked best for me to, begin, first of all, I would encourage you to just start with a small goal. So my first small goal was at night before I go to bed to tidy up and to consider what I might want to do to prepare for the next morning, just to close out the day strong, to finish well. And, not 100% of the time, you're home every evening, you might be out or might have errands or things, kids activities or whatever, but at whatever point you get home and all the kids go to bed and your husband is settling in for the evening, to take a few minutes, and sometimes it's just 30 minutes, and motivation, fast pace, just tidy up whatever is left from the day so that I don't have to go into the next morning with the residual of the life that happened in our house yesterday. It doesn't, no, not 100% of the time, but I would say 90% of the time, every evening, small goal, start there, and you wake up being like, oh yeah, I can tackle today. It's a new day because my space is new, things are put away.
And you've prepped, you've prepared.
Yeah.
It's pretty rare for you to go into the morning, the next day, without having prepared the night before.
Right. So the night before, sometimes it's just something basic as in my kitchen, I really like to run my dishwasher right after dinner so that it's gone through a whole cycle, from the dishes that we've used that day. And then right before I get ready for bed myself, then I take a few minutes. If it's 10 minutes, I'm always like, faster, faster, faster. In my mind, I'm like, I don't want to waste time, and it helps not to like hesitate and be like, oh, I don't want to unload the dishwasher. Be like, it's just faster just to do it. So you just like, quick, 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 unload that dishwasher. And so the next morning you start the day with an empty dishwasher. Then you make breakfast and it's easy just to go rinse, 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 stick it in. Versus like, there's no place. Yeah, and then it piles up in the sink. And then it's like,
and then you can't get it done until maybe nap time or whatever. And then it gets to be way too delayed.
You get behind on it. So
exactly. What are the other things that you do the night before to prepare?
I definitely...
Oh, yes, Kim, you and Brooke would get along very well. Kim, you're so awesome,
mind
for
you,
sure.
I explain this to friends, or when I, recently taught at the Titus home, this class on home order. What I explain is that I'm actually not a type A person. I'm not, like, super planned or whatever. I might have those natural tendencies, but I figured out that I needed to teach myself these skills and do this because it was producing better fruit. Like, my day was less chaotic when I did this one simple little, thing with my dishes. So I was like, oh, cool. So that's just a real practical thing that I could do to eliminate chaos my day. So you start looking at it and be like, oh, what's the source of that? Okay, let's get to the root. And so versus being like, I don't know. I guess I'm just saying anybody can do this, right?
Yeah, it's not a talent.
It's not a talent. It comes naturally to some more than others.
But it's a skill that can be learned.
It's a skill that can be learned.
And it has to be learned. Really?
Has to be learned. It's just a matter of observing what works and what doesn't work, and working hard to do more of what works. And that looks very different for every family. But I think you were asking about the night before, things I do to prepare for the next day. I think it's a good idea, if you want to go an extra step, to set your breakfast table, before you go to bed. And when you wake up, that's already set. Or for me, I like to shower the night before. So in the morning, I can get ready, and it just eliminates 20 minutes of my routine. And it just depends on...
Make sure that you get a shower, otherwise it might not happen in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's true.
Do you ever feel like you're doing so much at night after the kids go to bed that it's like that there's no time with your husband, or that it just gets so rushed that night?
Scott likes to kind of stay up late, so his time of connect, there's always an opportunity for that. If he was going to go to bed, and if he's like, oh, I'm exhausted, I'm going to need to go to bed at like 9 o'clock or something tonight, then I'll say, oh, okay. So then I'll spend some time tending to him and just, hanging out, talking, visiting throughout the day, whatever, connecting. And then when he goes to sleep, then I'll be like, okay, Grace, energy. And I'm going to go spend 30 minutes after he's gone to bed. So it's just a matter of priority management. And sometimes that has to be spontaneous. You just have to make those choices. But time with him would be the priority over the chores. I might get up a little earlier the next morning to fill in a gap, or I might stay up a little bit later to fill in a gap. So it's just a matter of adapting.
Okay, so for all of you who know me, quite a few of you, you know that along with being a marriage counselor, I do a lot of sex education. It's true, I do. And I do a lot of, really counseling about marriage relationships and intimacy issues. And Brooke, one of the main things is people, and especially women, even if they have really mastered home order, they don't, is this right, Brooke? They don't know when to connect with their husband. They don't know when to have sex, basically. It's like they're too tired at night, or the kids get up too early in the morning, or sometimes the kids are in their bed with them. So it's like, well, I don't even know when we're supposed to have time for this because we're too tired. So, and some, I don't know how, but somehow, people do tend to find a way because they keep having more children. But we need to have that emotional and spiritual and physical and constant connection with our husbands, in addition to keeping our home organized. So, he has a lot of needs, and I'm always talking about relationships. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Trina Titus Lozano, and I am a counselor, and I specialize in marriage and family, and I'm also an ordained Christian minister. So I like to use biblical principles to really, to give wisdom to people. And so if you want to watch my past Periscopes, you can do that, TrinaTitusLozano.com. But marriage is foundational to everything. Oh, thank you, Wendy. Marriage is foundational to everything. I mean, that marriage relationship is the whole point. You know, it's the whole point of really wanting the home order. And what's the point of having kids if you don't have a solid marriage? And then what's the point of having a home that's organized if you don't have a solid marriage and a great relationship with your kids? I mean, it's all to support the relationships, because that's your real purpose, is the relationship. So everything is to support the relationships in the home. And so, you know, speak to that and just how you manage that in addition to managing the 4 kids and in addition to just organizing and managing the home. Okay. So now I'm going to turn my camera.
Yeah. So that topic that you're talking about is called priority management. And for me, how that relates to home order is that you know where your values lie. You say, this is valuable to me, home is valuable to me, all these tangible things, you know, organization, cleanliness is all valuable, but a human relationship is more valuable than that. And so whenever there's you know, a child's heart is upset and needs you to tend to that, then you know, put down the dish rag and, you know, kneel down, pay attention to them, consider them, see what's going on, and see if you can, you know, administer any kind of love, support, peace, whatever needs to happen. And the same thing with a spouse. You know, the purpose of the home is to create an environment of peace and love. So when somebody's needing peace and love, you go and minister peace and love. So it can look like a lot of different things, not just home order, organization, cleanliness, whatever, but how you tend to supporting the relationship in that way. So you can put down, you know, folding the basket of laundry. He needs some support, you know, love, peace, or whatever. So you can just go and tend to that, whatever that looks like. So it's just a priority management thing. It's a matter of adapting, and not every day looks the same, but
doesn't it seem like sometimes the priority, like there's either a choice, is what I'm getting at, like either there's a priority of the relationship or the housework. But both at the same time is the biggest struggle that people, you know, bring to me in the office, is how do I do both? And the truth is, you can do both at the same time, and one supports the other, but it's tricky. It really is, because there's only a certain number of hours in the day, and there's only a certain amount of energy that you have. So, so in a practical way, you know, to do that is tricky.
Yeah. My key to that is to say, you know, with what you're doing in your home, that all those are skills, and over time you master those skills get put on autopilot, so you actually give more time and attention, more heart, more love, more joy, more support, more peace to the relationships, and to, you know, like Mimi says, the home is where the heart is what is cultural. Home is where the heart is. She says home is where the heart is formed. Exactly. And so in your home, you're looking at your heart, how that's being formed. You're looking at what you have to give to help in the formation of the hearts of children, husband, you know, or whatever. And so when you put these skills, literally they carry no weight. You know, for me, it doesn't carry any guilt or shame. It doesn't really carry. It's just like, oh, I know what needs to be done at certain times or whatever. And it's actually no pressure. It's no pressure, and it's not.
And it is almost on autopilot. Once you get the system, it literally is on autopilot.
It literally just runs itself, and it's just a system that you plug yourself in and out of, depending on what
and
is
it
required
becomes
of you.
very routine.
And
it all works.
And it's not, for me, like, you know, my sister-in-law is your typical type A personality.
Yeah.
And she's wonderful at creating a system. She said, you know, would say she's a creature of habit, and so she creates a system where it is like based on certain times of days, and she does the exact same thing every time. I don't actually do that, but I do a different system that works for me. And so I think that it's just a matter of whatever fits your personality, your family needs, your home life, your schedules, your da-da-da-da-da, you figure out, okay, the value here is just doing something that works, and you evaluate what's working, what's not, and tend to that. And at the end of the day, you know, you just look at the hearts and say, ooh, we're forming well, we're going in the right direction, and that's that.
What do you find that is the hardest area of your home to keep up with? The bedrooms, the bathrooms, the kitchen. What do you find is the hardest? Or the playroom?
That is interesting. I would say for me is my car.
Ah, good
Okay.
one. I forgot to mention that.
That is a responsibility of mine. This is a vehicle that I drive. My kids don't drive, nor whatever. So I have tried like several different things, and I'm still in the process of figuring out how I can keep my car tidy. I know that there are certain things that I could do, so I'd have to be willing to let, like for example, my car would stay exponentially cleaner and more orderly if I did not let the kids have snacks or feed them or whatever. But for whatever reason, I just don't find that works to not let them do that. So then I accept the fact
Probably because you live in a big city and kids are in the car for
if you're driving
longer period of time.
Yeah, choir rehearsal is on this side of town, and
so they can be in the car 30 minutes to an hour at a time.
So you have to pack a lunchbox and say we got to do this. And so for me, I'm still figuring that out. I haven't learned anything. Somebody's mastered that. I would love to learn. I love to see what you've learned. So yeah, that's my answer.
That's your hardest.
I really gave a clean
That's
start.
your hardest spot. There you go. Yeah. Buy a table crumb roller. It works like a mini handled vacuum to grab crumbs on the floor. Nice. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, y'all, I'm turning my camera around again so that Brooke and I can both be in the camera. Okay, so, I'm talking to y'all, but she can hear what I'm saying. So one thing that I find works, and I know that Brooke probably does this as well, is literally everywhere I go. At home, at every store, everywhere I go, I always remove the garbage out of the van. Continually, or out of my car, continually. So I'm removing the garbage many times a day because most stores have a trash can right there. The gas station for sure has a trash can right there. So at least I'm eliminating the garbage. And then one thing that I did when y'all were little, which you probably don't remember, is I did have either a bag or a bucket, and I would put everybody's stuff in one container, and then everybody would just have to carry in one container of all of their stuff. So everybody gathered up their own stuff, and that kind of helped for me too. Another thing that works for me is in my console area, I have clear containers for all the emergency stuff. And so my console, which used to be like a huge junk drawer, at least now, it has things separated. So that might help you a little bit, but with kids, it is just hard. And I love your crumb roller idea. That's really good, because keeping up with the crumbs is the tough part. So really, it's like you need to have a little mini vacuum on you at all times, because that's the tough part, really.
And they're starting to make minivans with
vacuums.
And I'm like,
perfect. That's what we want. That is the answer.
So
a minivan with a vacuum.
When we drove with our kids to Florida over Christmas break, we took our dustbuster in our van, and so every stop we took out trash and we vacuumed it up, and that the dustbuster was right there. Functioned, driving 3 days to Florida.
Yeah. Totally. So show us just a little bit around your nursery, okay? Okay.
Sure. Well, this is first. You have the crib that's here.
I'm gonna go from the door.
Okay, that sounds good.
I can skip the chair. I love he has got 3 older sisters, y'all. So
yes, he is well loved.
And the walls are really light blue.
Yeah. So this is his crib here. Beautiful big
kind of catty corner. I love those things that are anchored into the ceiling. Those are so cute. Those are awesome.
Yeah, kind of like a
like a mobile, but really cute. They look like big blocks or something. Okay,
yeah.
With the lighting, it's kind of hard. Let me get over this direction. There we go. Oh, I love the light. There's the light fixture up there, which is cool. And then tell us about the wall hanging.
So the wall hanging, I had gotten a picture from Restoration Hardware's catalog, and I wanted to copy what they were doing. So I got some plastic.
So you literally just copied it.
Just copied. Just said, here's the picture. I like that, so I'm just going to do exactly what the picture is. Don't try to need to change anything. I just want it like that, so let's just do it. And so they were, of course, selling their product, which were the frames, and theirs were gold and heavy metal, very very nice, but very expensive. So it was about $300 for a frame of sheet music.
For one?
Right, for one.
Oh my goodness.
And so my idea was to go to the half price books and get a book of old sheet music and tear out the pages and frame it myself. So in thinking about, I wonder if I could get a frame with a mat. Well, as it turned out, mats were also kind of expensive if you're getting them in large quantity, like is here. And so I got a poster board from the dollar store, and I measured it against the frame, and I just double stick tape a piece of music onto the poster board and then framed that. These frames are plastic poster frames from Target, and I called around and I went to 3 different Targets and had them put it on hold so I could get enough. And drove around
and they're wall to wall,
up.
which they had to be to get the look.
Yes, that was exactly what the picture was. From one wall to the next side of the wall, it was frames. So
yeah.
So I went to 3 different Targets, got all of my frames, and then we spray painted them a metallic silver so that we got that metal look.
Oh, good.
And it was about the same width as the frame that we saw
on the picture.
And it was really important for them to be straight edge so that we could hang them right up against each other with no space. That was part of the look.
Right.
So we did 3 poster boards from the dollar store, $1, old music sheet book that I got at half price.
What song?
Paid $1 for that. So I found it said old wedding songs, and so it was like from the 1920s, and so it ended up being wedding music, which was like great. It was hymns. It was "O Lord Most Holy," "Ave Maria," and I'm trying to remember. Oh, "I Love You Truly."
Oh, that's so cute. I love you
precious.
truly, which is perfect for a nursery.
Perfect.
That's sweet.
And it had that sweet like linen color because it was super old. I thought at first, am I gonna have
Janice
to dye
is joining.
this,
Hi, Janice.
or what am I gonna do? But anyhow, the color was perfect. Had enough contrast with the white, so it was just a matter of, honestly, Scott totally did it. Just
and that's a hand-me-down mirror from my mom.
And yeah, hand-me-down mirror from Mimi with 1 toy box here, changing station.
Show us your organizational things in here and sort of
Sure.
how your system works with your 1-year-old.
Okay, so the main part of my care for him is morning, changing your diaper, getting you dressed. So lay him here. I have my diapers available right here, wipes, and in this top drawer, I have all of my diapering supplies. I keep like a Tupperware bin that has lotion, cream, ointment, Q-tips, nails,
Extra stuff, yeah.
Extra stuff. So all that is in there, and then, so I lay him here and get him dressed. I have pajamas all neatly folded here. I actually have shoes and socks all together right here.
Oh, wait. That's a good idea. Let's see your shoes and socks drawer.
Yeah. So we just throw the shoes in here.
Okay, so the shoes and socks are in a drawer.
Yeah.
That's different, but you know what? When he's sitting on the changing table, that way you can
You
just
really
reach
have
his
to
shoes and socks.
access everything.
And they're right there together, which is great.
Yeah.
I love his name on that basket. That's so cute.
I know.
I think Chelsea's mom did that,
And
didn't she?
those little toys so that I can hand him something while he's here and we're working towards, changing
Cute,
him.
yeah.
Then for actually, undressing, I have the hamper here so that dirty clothes go right here versus like
The hamper and the trash
on the
can.
floor.
Right,
Yeah,
you
just
don't
so
need
that
to. You don't need to walk in.
Yeah. And then he has one
One
toy
toy box. That's it.
so it's not complicated.
And his little rocker.
Yeah,
his
play
little
and move
rocking-
everything around. And
Little
then it goes
rocking
back
sheep.
in one. Yeah.
Show us the closet real quick.
Sure.
I know y'all. I did not tell her I was going to do
No.
this,
It's
but I
the
knew
way
it was
that
good. It's the way it is. It's just a system that works, so it's great.
Sure. So in here, I keep extra diapers and wipes, and I keep, just a few clothing items that are hung. I put hooks here. You can't see, but hooks are against this wall right here. So there's a hook,
I'll see.
and it has hats and
It is dark in
hoodies.
there. You're right. Can't see.
hats, hoodies,
Okay, we believe you.
and
I can't see it.
yeah,
That's cool. Hook's way deep inside.
yeah.
And then the bottom floor area looks like it's empty, but I have seen you put some of the larger toys down there for
Right,
storage.
so he has a wagon that he pushes, which right now is in the living room. If
Yeah.
you're anywhere downstairs, and at the end of the day when we're done playing with his little wagon, because it's a big
It's
size
pretty
wagon,
big, yeah.
that's exactly where it goes.
He
So
just
that spot
pushes
is
that.
waiting. Mhm.
that spot's waiting for that toy wagon to be pushed into at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's so cute. Well, Brooke,
I know.
thank you so much for having us into your home and into Liam's nursery. Any last tips before we sign off, just about the values of home order or anything to just get people started?
I guess I would just say get a really big box of trash bags and consider that your very first step towards being more ordered in your home is discarding, getting rid of things that you don't use, you don't want, you don't need. I see so
Things
many
that don't bring you
families.
joy.
Yes, I see so many families that I don't even know what are in all these drawers, and what you're actively using tends to be in plain sight or all over versus like,
Put away.
no, yeah, I just use this ointment and then I put it right back. So it doesn't, I don't need to show what I'm actively using. I get to use my storage for what I'm actually using. Does that make sense?
Right. So discard,
eliminate, get rid of things so that you can, you can free up your space to be just full of things that bring you joy.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and do that sooner than later. Miss Wendy says, thank you. Oh, well, thank you guys. And I really thank you guys for joining me today. It's always great to Periscope with everybody. So we'll sign off right now, but I will be back tonight at 9 o'clock. And I'm so glad you find this helpful, Mallory. It is just a beautiful thing to continue to sharpen those homemaking skills. It's a blessing to have a home of peace and order and joy and love, and just where you're freed up to really nurture the relationship because your house is working well. So God bless you guys, and I'll be back tonight. Bye-bye.